Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the second session of Open Access Publishing. Outline of the program of today's talk will be around self-archiving policies, questionable predatory publishers, think, check, submit a website. Then I'm going to talk about Creative Commons, tips for choosing the right journal, and the journal selection tools which are provided by the publishers, as well as I'm going to talk about UGC Care list. Let's have a quick recap about the previous presentation. That presentation was about what exactly is open access, what are the different types of open access, right? Benefits of open access, benefits to the researchers, authors, institutions, businesses, etc. Then I also gave an overview of OA resources, right from OA search engines, then search engines specially for preprints, then preprint repositories in various subject areas like medicine, biology, social sciences, psychology, etc. As well as I gave you the resources which are even important for the researchers, like images, how to do the image search using Creative Commons, etc. So now I am going to talk about, first is self-archiving policies. In my previous presentation I had discussed about three ways of open access publishing, that is gold route, second is green route, and the third one had archiving, how you can do the self archiving, right? So when you write your article, when you submit to any journal, you have a right to self archive that particular article. Okay, it may be the preprints, maybe the revised version that is accepted for the publication, or the post prints. So suppose if you do some changes with the data, you update your data, and then you want to if you make any changes to the article, then it is called as post prints, right? So if you do this, right, if you make the changes in your article, or even though you don't do it, you have full right to archive in the repositories that are there in your institution. So you have to do this. I must say that you must do it. But before you do it, you have to go and check the publisher's policies. Okay, I had mentioned about the gold route, that is directly publish your paper in the journal, that is open access journal, pure open access journal. Suppose if you are not able to publish your article in the open access journal, if you're doing with the commercial publishers, then you have to check the copyright policies, because when we publish with such a commercial publishers, most of the times we transfer our copyright to the publishers, right? So you have to check your rights, whether you are allowed to archive in the repository, that is your institutional repository or any subject repository. In Sherpa Romeo website, it is a database of journals and publishers about self-archiving policies. Okay, as of October 2020, just I checked yesterday only, there are almost 4,528 publishers listed in their Sherpa website, where the policies you can see whether you are allowed to do it or not. So it is this, especially this Sherpa website is for important for the OA authors. Okay, whether they are allowed to do it or not. In case of transpose, almost 3,095 journals are listed in the website, in their database. So you can see this here in front of screen, the website, main website of the Sherpa Romeo. On the left side, you can see the homepage of the website, where they have clearly mentioned that it is an online resource that aggregates and analyzes publishers' open access policies from around the world and provides summaries of publisher copyright and open access archiving policies on a journal by journal basis. Correct? Because all journals may not have the same criteria. They all journals differ from each other. Okay, so here the simple homepage is there, where there are two search options. One is journal title or ISSN numbers. Okay, you can also have an option called as publisher's name. Some, say for example, Emerald or Elsevier Science or Taylor and Francis, Wiley. You can write their names and search what are their policies, because sometimes publishers are going to have a same policy for all the journals that they publishes. Okay, so here is on the right side, there is a separate screen that I have captured and inserted here. When I typed in the first search box, that is library high tech, this entire information is presented. Okay, so what information it is giving? This Sherpa website, it is giving you the ISSN number, that is print ISSN number, then URL they have provided, then who is the publishers, and then very important aspect for all researchers and authors is for publishers policy. Okay, so what is the publishers policy they have mentioned? That open access pathways permitted by the journal's policy are listed below by the article version. Click on the pathways for the more detailed view. Okay, so here they have mentioned that OA fee. So this pathway has an open access fee associated with it, because they charge for the OA article, because this particular journal is a hybrid journal. They ask authors to article processing charges, so their article will be available in a OA mode on their website. Okay, so this they have cleared very well. Then there is something they have mentioned, that is no embargo, means the person who is the author who wants to archive article in any repository or somewhere, they can do it without any embargo period. वो repository में या कोई भी subject related repository में वो archive कर सकते हैं. तो यहाँ पे नीचे लिखा गया है, right, accepted version, institutional repository, non-commercial subject repository एंड ऑथर्स होम पेज. ओके, इसका मतलब क्या है? एक्सेप्टेड वर्जन, यानी जो पीयर रिव्यू होने के बाद जो आर्टिकल बन गया है, ओके, दैट इज कॉल्ड एज फाइनल वर्जन. ओके, और यू कैन से accepted version. That accepted version can be archived in the institutional repository, non-commercial subject repository, institutional repository or non-commercial subject repository, as well as author's homepage पे रख सकते हो. देन सबमिटेड वर्जन, वो जो हम पहले सबमिट करते हैं आर्टिकल पीयर रिव्यू होने के पहले, वो भी आप इंस्टीट्यूशनल रिपोजिटरी, नॉन कमर्शियल, सब्जेक्ट रिपोजिटरी एज वेल एज इंस्टीट्यूशनल वेबसाइट, ये तीनों जगह आप रख सकते हो उसको. इसका परमिशन है, यानी सबमिटेड वर्जन एज वेल एज एक्सेप्टेड वर्जन, बोथ वर्जन्स यू आर फ्री टू डिपॉजिट wherever you want. Now let's see the transpose website. So this Sherpa we have done. Now again same Sherpa website. So if you click on the details of the same journal, जहाँ उसके नीचे भी कुछ और चीजें थी, तो मैंने दो स्लाइड्स में वो बनाया है. तो फर्स्ट में हमने क्या देखा कि लोकेशन क्या है? एकेडमिक सोशल नेटवर्क. हाँ, लोकेशन यानी आप एकेडमिक सोशल नेटवर्क या ऑथर्स होम पेज, नॉन कमर्शियल सब्जेक्ट रिपोजिटरी, वहां पे भी आप रख सकते हो. और क्या लिखा है कि नोट्स में उन्होंने ये भी मेंशन किया है कि क्रिएटिव कॉमन्स एट्रीब्यूशन नॉन कमर्शियल इंटरनेशनल लाइसेंस 4.0 शुड बी अटैच्ड टू योर that accepted version. Okay, accepted as well as submitted version. So दोनों भी आप archive कर सकते हो, और आप क्रिएटिव कॉमन्स का ये नॉन कमर्शियल लाइसेंस भी उसको अटैच कर सकते हो. सो आप यहाँ पे देख सकते हो कि जनवरी 2004 में ये वेबसाइट स्टार्ट हो गया. ओके, तब 73 सिर्फ पब्लिशर्स यहाँ पे रजिस्टर थे, और अभी आज आप देख सकते हो अक्टूबर 2020 4,528 publishers are registered with this Romeo. Okay, not registered but Romeo, that Sherpa has added these publishers in their database. Okay, और आप next right side screen पे देख सकते हैं publishers by country. सबसे highest publishers that are there in the Sherpa website is United States of America. Almost 1070 publishers are included here in this website. And then India has got 151. Okay, so like this वो statistics उनके वेब पेज पे है, आप जाके देख सकते हो, हर कंट्री वाइज देख सकते हो, उसके ऊपर आप क्लिक करके आप पूरा जो भी पब्लिशर्स के डिटेल्स है वो आप चेक कर सकते हो. तो इसका मतलब है कि आप जैसे चाहे वैसे आप पेपर आर्काइव कर सकते हो. ओके, आर्काइव करना यानी क्या है, सबमिट करना है एक. ओके, यहाँ पे शेरपा के वेबसाइट पे बहुत अच्छा help in the sense they have given video tutorials, very nice video tutorials. I will recommend everyone to go through these videos that will give you how to read the publisher's policy, interpret publisher's policy, right, understand publisher's policy. ये बहुत ही हेल्प होता है एक ऑथर या रिसर्चर्स के लिए. अभी आपका research journey started, so I will recommend that you go through these videos and try to understand the publishing and the scholarly communication. So this is about Transpose website. आप यहाँ पे देख सकते हो कि उनका भी थोड़ा व्यू सेम है, सिमिलर है. जब मैंने एक जर्नल का एंट्री किया तो मुझे ये इंफॉर्मेशन मिली. तो उन्होंने यहाँ पे मेंशन किया है कि सिंगल ब्लाइंड रिव्यू है ये जर्नल का. ओके, तो सिंगल ब्लाइंड रिव्यू यानी क्या है कि ऑथर cannot see who is reviewing their article. Okay, but reviewer can see whose article it is. यानी ये ब्लाइंड रिव्यू नहीं होता है. सिंगल रिव्यू यानी आपका नाम आपके आर्टिकल के साथ ही सबमिट किया होता है जर्नल में. ओके, तो आप आपका रिव्यूअर आपका नाम देख सकता है. तो उन्होंने ये भी मेंशन किया है, एज वेल एज प्री प्रिंट गाइडलाइंस उन्होंने दिए हैं. प्री प्रिंट यस लिखा है, पॉलिसी में लिखा है कि टिपिकली फर्स्ट सबमिशन ओनली. ओके, टिपिकली फर्स्ट सबमिशन ओनली यानी जो आपने सबमिट किया होता है आर्टिकल बिफोर रिव्यू. Okay, that is only allowed, that particular version is allowed in the preprint server, and but archive and repec preprints can be updated with author's accepted manuscript. Okay, तो यानी उन्होंने यहाँ पे क्लियरली मेंशन किया है कि आप ये दो जगह archive और repec दोनों छोड़ के बाकी सब जगह आपका जो फर्स्ट सबमिटेड कॉपी होता है वहां वो आप आर्काइव कर सकते हैं. लेकिन ये दोनों जगह ये ARXIV एज वेल एज REPEC REPEC ये प्रीप्रिंट रिपोजिटरी में आप एक्सेप्टेड वर्जन भी आप रख सकते हो. ये उन्होंने यहाँ पे बता दिया है. ओके, और ये जर्नल की जो पॉलिसी हम देख रहे हैं वो जर्नल का नाम है एनल्स ऑफ एग्रीकल्चरल साइंसेस. ओके, सो आप ऐसे हर कोई जर्नल का नाम डाल के आप उसका पॉलिसीज चेक कर सकते हो, एंड देन यू कैन डिसाइड कि where you want to publish your article. Okay, now we will see move ahead. Now next is we are going to talk about questionable or predatory publishers. Okay, it's very interesting to know about predatory publishers or questionable publishers because India is in forefront of this predatory publishers. Okay, why I'm saying this? Because there is one librarian, US librarian, who did a sting operation. Okay, he did that sting operation. I think he did it in the 2013 or something like that. Okay, he just what he did, he wrote one article, fake scientific data article, and he submitted to the plenty of journals at the same time. Okay, and immediately within 2 days he received the replies saying that your article is accepted. Okay, and you have to pay this particular article processing fees. And some also offered him the editorial board, member of editorial board also. Okay, so that was something very very suspicious, right? यानी ये बहुत ही आश्चर्यकारक चीज है कि आप आपका आर्टिकल भेज देते हो किसी ओपन एक्सेस जर्नल को। मींस जेफरी बेल ने क्या किया, उन्होंने ओपन एक्सेस जर्नल जो है वो आइडेंटिफाई किया और वहां पे उन्होंने सबमिट किया था। ओके, तो चेक करने के लिए कि ये कितने अच्छे है, या उनको जब उनको लगा कि ये थोड़ा सस्पिशियस है तो उन्होंने ऐसे सब जर्नल्स को भेज दिया एक फेक साइंटिफिक आर्टिकल। ओके, और वो एक्सेप्ट भी हो गया। यानी उन्होंने ऑलमोस्ट मोर देन 11,000 जर्नल्स फाइंड आउट किए कि वो फेक है। ओके, फेक है इन द सेंस व्हाट, कि जब ये कंसेप्ट ओपन एक्सेस पब्लिशिंग का जब इस्टेब्लिश हुआ और उसके जो 3 रूट मैंने आपको बताए, ओपन एक्सेस जर्नल, करेक्ट, गोल्ड रूट। ओके, तो बहुत जो ऐसे नॉट पब्लिशर्स, आई कैन नॉट से पब्लिशर्स, ऐसे बहुत सारे लोग हैं जो आगे आए और उन्हें ये लगा कि ये एक अच्छी पैसा कमाने की अपॉर्चुनिटी है। ओके, तो मैं ऐसा एक जर्नल स्टार्ट करूंगा और ऑथर्स से पैसे लेके बहुत पैसे कमाएंगे, ऐसा एक सोच लेके ऐसे जर्नल्स पब्लिश होने लगे, फ्लरिश होने लगे, नॉट पब्लिश बट फ्लरिश। और उसका डे बाय डे जो ग्रोथ है वो बहुत ही बढ़ रहा है, अभी भी बढ़ रहा है। अभी जस्ट मैंने एक आर्टिकल पढ़ा है February 2020 का, वो आर्टिकल में भी यही लिखा है कि द प्रेडेटरी पब्लिशर्स और क्वेश्चनेबल पब्लिशर्स का जो रेट है बढ़ने का वो कम ही नहीं हो रहा है, इट्स नॉट स्लोइंग डाउन। ओके, स्टिल इट इज इंक्रीजिंग, कितना भी आप करो। ओके, तो he actually Jeffrey Bill, he found out the number of journals as well as publishers who are charging unnecessarily or more fees from the authors to and they accept immediately and they publish their articles. Okay, they are very they are not good, even the they are very very low quality, poor, maybe the data is fake, something like that. So this he actually Jeffrey coined this term called as predatory publishers. Okay, so then in I think this 2013 and 14 there was a spur, यानी क्या खेती, पब्लिक प्रेडिटरी पब्लिशर्स के खेती ही बन गई। ओके, यानी एक माध्यम, पैसा कमाने का माध्यम है, ऐसा लोगों को समझ में आया और उन्होंने वो स्टार्ट किया। तो वैसे प्रेडिटरी पब्लिशर्स आपको पहले समझने हैं, okay, as a researchers, because as part of your PhD or maybe in the further journey of your research, you should find out which are the predatory publishers and you should avoid publishing your articles in such type of predatory publishers. Okay, so first thing is about predatory publishers is that article processing charges. They ask you to submit article processing charges. They are actually submission charges, not article processing charges. Okay, it is again the second point I have mentioned, submission fee instead of publication fee. And they charge not less than 1,000 and all, and you can bargain also, because I read in one article that if author cannot afford to pay $1,000, then they just keep on telling the writing the publisher saying that you reduce my fees and all, and then they accept it. Okay, but in case of open access article, in my previous presentation I had mentioned that author processing charges are fixed, they cannot be reduced. Okay, it can be waived or it can be as part of the funders policy, it can be diverted to that particular funders policy, but not, it cannot be compromised. Okay, the charges are never compromised, they can be waived only. But in this case of predatory publishers, like bargaining कैसे होता है, वैसे वो भी वहां पे भी वो देखा गया है. Okay, उनकी एडिटोरियल पॉलिसी कुछ भी अच्छी तरह से नहीं लिखा होता है. एक कुछ वेबसाइट रहता है, वेबसाइट पे ग्रामेटिकल मिस्टेक्स भी रहते हैं, एरर्स रहते हैं टाइटल्स में, एब्स्ट्रैक्ट भी अच्छे से नहीं होते हैं जो ऑथर्स पब्लिश करते हैं वहां पे. डेटा भी ऑथेंटिक है या नहीं है वो भी पता नहीं हो सकता. और एडिटोरियल बोर्ड ऐसे लिखा होता है लेकिन वहां पे एक मैसेज आता है कि कमिंग सून. ओके, और ओनली मेन एडिटर का नाम लिखा होता है, और एड्रेस कुछ गलत रहता है, और ईमेल एड्रेस तो एकदम ही गलत रहता है. यानी वेबसाइट, ज्यादातर अगर पब्लिशर्स के बारे में आप देखेंगे तो उनका जो वेबसाइट है, एडिटर्स का वेबसाइट वगैरह जो रहेगा, तो वो उनके डोमेन नेम के साथ रहता है, राइट. उनका जो डोमेन नेम है, यानी से फॉर एग्जांपल एम्ब्रिल, सो @embril something.com वगैरह ऐसे होना चाहिए, लेकिन वैसा भी नहीं होता है ये प्रेडेटरी पब्लिशर्स के बारे में. ओके, तो आपको वो भी देखना है. इंफॉर्मेशन मिसमैच रहती है, गाइडलाइंस में कुछ अलग लिखा होता है ऑथर गाइडलाइंस में, और एक्चुअली आर्टिकल्स में कुछ अलग ही रहता है. अगर गाइडलाइंस में लिखा है कि आपको अमेरिकन साइकोलॉजिकल एसोसिएशन का स्टाइल यूज करना है आर्टिकल्स लिखने के लिए, और अंदर किसी ने भी वो यूज नहीं किया होता है आर्टिकल्स में, यानी कैसे भी वो आर्टिकल्स एक्सेप्ट किए जाते हैं और वो पब्लिश किए जाते हैं. तो ये ऐसे प्रकार के प्रेडेटरी पब्लिशर्स आपको कंप्लीटली अवॉइड करना चाहिए, क्योंकि ये आपका रेपुटेशन खराब कर देते हैं. ओके, तो आई थिंक दिस predatory publishers, I think around 2007-8 onwards they started publishing. Okay, and they started charging from the authors, and a very large amount of fees they used to charge. And why again, we can talk about why authors are so desperate to publish in the journals, because एक तो there is a lot of pressure from their institution where they are working, that they need to publish articles in the good journals to for the career enhancement, for the promotions. Even sometimes it becomes mandatory to publish. Even some institutions I have observed that if they publish their article in the journal, they are paid by their institutions for the publications. Okay, so these all reasons are there why the authors have opted for this particular method, and this should not be there. Sometimes unknowingly also, predatory publishers are means authors are attracted towards the predatory publishers because they are amateur. Okay, वो नए होते हैं, यानी मैं सोच सकती हूँ कि जो स्टूडेंट्स है, जो उनका मास्टर्स डिग्री कर रहे हैं या पीएचडी के लिए एडमिशन लिया है, तो उनको इसकी जानकारी नहीं होती है. ओके, कि ये कौन से जर्नल है, ये अच्छे है या नहीं है. ऑथर पेड है, फाइन, और आपको लगता है कि ठीक है ये ओपन एक्सेस है, यानी मेरा आर्टिकल ओपनली अवेलेबल रहेगा उनके वेबसाइट पे, तो लोग देख सकेंगे, वो रेफर कर सकेंगे और वो साइट कर सकेंगे. ऐसा थोड़ा सा उनका जरिया जो है देखने का, तो वो ऐसा रह जाता है. जो नए ऑथर्स होते हैं वो तो वो फंस जाते हैं, ऐसे मैं बोल सकती हूँ कि ये एक जाल जो है, जाल में वो फंस जाते हैं. तो इसीलिए ये जो लेक्चर आपके लिए रखा गया है, तो आपको वो जानकारी हो सके कि ऐसे भी पब्लिशर्स होते हैं कि जो ऑथेंटिक नहीं होते हैं, और उनके साथ आपको कुछ भी डील नहीं करना है, कोई भी आर्टिकल नहीं लिखना है, क्योंकि वो आपको कुछ भी क्रेडिट नहीं मिलेगा उसका. तो let's see what other aspects are about predatory publishers. These predatory publishers fail to meet established standard with respect to peer review, right? This is a big question mark about the peer review of the article. जैसे मैंने आपको बताया कि जेफरी बिल ने जो आर्टिकल सबमिट किए और विद इन 2 days, विद इन अ वीक मैक्सिमम, they are getting accepted, you are getting a mail of acceptance. It's very 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 much questionable, right? Because if you go to the authentic journals, maybe commercial publishers as well as open access journals, the period for submitting your article and actually getting peer reviewed, accepted and publishing is a very long journey. Minimum 1 year, I can say 6 months to 1 year is required to uh, uh, to go through this particular journey. Okay, and you just think about the predatory publishers. They are just within 2 days they are writing you mail saying that your article is accepted. So it's very 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 suspicious, right? यानी आप आप वो आप उनके ऊपर बिलीव ही नहीं कर सकते क्योंकि उन्होंने पीयर रिव्यू किया ही नहीं है. ओके, और पीयर रिव्यू होता है तब रिव्यूअर बहुत अच्छे रिकमेंडेशंस देता है या कमेंट्स देता है, यानी सजेशंस देता है कि आपको ऐसे करना है, आपको ये लिखना है. यानी जितने भी मैंने आर्टिकल्स मेरे जर्नल्स में पब्लिश हुए हैं, वो आर्टिकल्स, हर आर्टिकल में मैं कुछ ना कुछ नया सीखी हूँ. ओके, क्योंकि हर कोई रिव्यूअर आपको एक अलग एंगल बताता है कि आपने ऐसा अपना आपका रिसर्च किया है, लेकिन लिखा आपने ऐसे है, लेकिन प्लीज आप इसमें ऐसे भी तरीके से आप उसको इंटरप्रेट कर सकते हो और लिख सकते हो. यानी ये जो सारी चीजें पीयर रिव्यूअर करता है वो प्रेडेटरी पब्लिशर्स के बारे में होती नहीं. ओके, तो इसीलिए वो पीयर रिव्यू उनका बिल्कुल भी कुछ भी उनका बराबर से इंफॉर्मेशन नहीं होता है उनके वेबसाइट पे. अगर आप वो ऑथर गाइडलाइंस, एडिटोरियल बोर्ड, उनकी जो इंफॉर्मेशन आप देखने के लिए जाओगे तो वहां पे ऐसा कुछ भी आपको दिखाई नहीं देगा. ओके, और वो बहुत ही झूठी खबरें फैलाते हैं उनके जर्नल्स के बारे में. यानी वो आपको बहुत एकदम बोल्डली लिखेंगे कि हमारा जर्नल डीओएजे यानी डायरेक्टरी ऑफ ओपन एक्सेस जर्नल में इंक्लूड किया गया है, हमारा जर्नल स्कोपस में है, वेब ऑफ साइंसेस में है, राइट? और वो सब झूठ होता है. अगर आप वेब ऑफ साइंस में वो जाके वो जर्नल का नाम टाइप करोगे तो कुछ भी इंफॉर्मेशन उसके ऊपर नहीं आएगा. ओके, तो ये जो वेब ऑफ साइंस या स्कोपस है, साइटेशन डेटाबेसेस है, ये आपको या डीओएजे आपको बता देंगे कि ये कौन सा जर्नल है, राइट है या रॉन्ग है. ओके, और एक चीज देखी गई है प्रेडेटरी पब्लिशर्स के बारे में कि उनका नाम है ना वैसे अलग तरीके से लिखा हुआ होता है. ओके, यानी जैसे मैंने बैंक के बारे में देखा गया है, लाइक आईसीआईसीआई बैंक. ओके, जैसा वो दिखता है आईसीआईसीआई बैंक, वो रेड कलर या व्हाइट येलो कलर, व्हाइट रेड कलर या वो कलर का जो कॉम्बिनेशन है, जैसा लिखा हुआ होता है आईसीआईसीआई, वैसा लिखने का स्टाइल सिर्फ थोड़ा सा उसमें चेंज होता है वो यूआरएल में, और पूरा एकदम सेम दिखता है. और हम by mistakenly we consider it as ISIS and we do the transactions, and then we realize that we have been there is a fraud happened with us, right? So same thing is happening with the even journals also. Okay, their names they adopt the journal name that is easily mistaken for that of another established title, or incorrectly identified with an established institution or a profession association. ओके, ये मैं आपको लास्ट स्लाइड में दिखाऊंगी कि ये कैसे उनके नाम के फेरफार करके वो दिखाते हैं कि ये उनका वो जर्नल है. यानी समझो अगर सेम जो लाइब्रेरी हाईटेक, ये जो जर्नल है ये एमरल का जर्नल है, तो अगर कोई फेक बना रहा है तो ऐसे बना सकता है कि लाइब्रेरी हाईटेक जर्नल. ओके, देयर इज नो नेम कॉल्ड library high tech journal JOUR in their title. Their name is only library high tech. Okay, their journal name is only library high tech. लेकिन ये जो फेक पब्लिशर्स है वो ऐसे कर सकते हैं कि लाइब्रेरी हाई टेक जर्नल. कोई भी अगर नया कोई ऑथर है तो वो देखेगा और उसको समझ में नहीं आएगा कि अरे ये तो एमरल का आर्टिकल जर्नल है, ऐसा उन्होंने उनको लगेगा और वो पब्लिश करने की कोशिश करेंगे. ऐसा बहुत देखा गया है, ऐसे आर्टिकल्स भी मैंने पढ़े हैं. तो ऐसे फेरफार करके वो जर्नल के नाम देते हैं. तो यानी आपका आपकी गलती हो वो समझने में, ओके। और एक चीज देखी गई है, यानी मल्टी डिसिप्लिनरी, राइट। ऐसे बहुत सारे जर्नल्स ये पब्लिश हो चुके हैं, वो मल्टी डिसिप्लिनरी है, यानी अलग अलग डिसिप्लिन का जर्नल एक ही साथ, ओके। यानी एक ही इशू में चार अलग अलग सब्जेक्ट के आर्टिकल्स पब्लिश करते हैं, वो बहुत ही गलत है। यानी यहाँ पे एक एग्जांपल है इन फ्रंट ऑफ यू, दैट इंटरनेशनल जर्नल ऑफ रिसेंट ट्रेंड्स इन लाइफ साइंसेज एंड मैथमेटिक्स। सी, mathematics is a different discipline and life science is totally different discipline. So you just can't imagine only that how this predatory publishers are trying to attract the people from the life sciences as well as from the mathematics. So you should not entertain such type of publishers, okay, and the journals. Then next point is about solicit papers from the potential authors directly via email, right? See, in my inbox I receive at least 10 to 15 emails, okay, at least 10 to 15 emails every day from these fake publishers and the journals, that please submit your article to our journal, okay. Our journal is a prestigious journal, author इंडेक्स जर्नल वगैरह वगैरह, ऐसे बहुत कुछ अच्छा अपने जर्नल के बारे में लिखते हैं, or they just lure people, right, authors, that you submit to a journal. But see, this is not a standard practice in case of established journals, right? There can be one two, sometimes there might be special issues that these good authentic journals, when they want to issue, then they invite authors which are very predominant writers in that particular field, okay. Then they approach you and say that we are having a special issue of this particular journal, so please write article for this particular special issue, okay. Then it is fine. Otherwise, mostly these good publishers, they do not approach authors and they ask you for submission of the articles, okay. Even I have received I have also received emails regarding submission of the articles for this special issue, and I already submitted and as well as published in such type of good journals, okay. But you should be aware of this situation, that if you receive email saying that you publish to the journal, then you must be aware of all this scenario, okay. आपको अभी पता चला है कि कौन से अच्छे जर्नल्स है और कौन से बुरे जर्नल्स है, तो आपको अवॉइड करना है बुरे जर्नल्स को, ओके। अगर फिर भी आपको समझ में नहीं आया कि whether it is a good journal or whether it is a good conference to attain, then please talk to your librarian. Librarian will definitely guide you that this particular journal is good, this particular journal is bad, you should avoid this, okay. So please take the help or the suggestions from your librarian, okay. Then now let's go to the again, there are few signs that publishers might be the predatory, okay. So if the journal is not listed in the directory of open access journals, there can be one sign that it may not be a good journal. Then second is that Ulrich International Periodicals Directory, okay. This is one of the biggest directory of periodicals which are published all over the world, and it has 900 subjects. You just imagine, they have categorized all the periodicals under the 900 subjects. So if that particular journals is not registered with the Ulrich directory, which is definitely there in the library, you just go to the library and find out, and you will come to know that whether this particular journal is registered with Ulrich or not, or you can just talk to your librarian, okay. If the journal publisher is not the member of Open Access Scholarly Publishers Association, then it means this is a fake journal, okay. This is not a correct open access authentic journal, okay. See what happens, these publishers, whoever, which are good publishers, they are authentic publishers, they are part of the that they become the member of various organizations, okay. Like COPE. Committee on Publication Ethics. So it is mandatory for them to be a member of such type of association, so that their authenticity can be proved. Okay, or you can say they they follow the guidelines given by these associations or the organizations. Okay, after they become the member of this association, means they are following the rules which are given by these particular associations. Okay, so you have to check whether they are the members or not. Or finally, you can just see this Bill's list, weebly.com. See, Jeffrey Bill, he removed his list of predatory publishers from his website in 2017. But anonymously, there is one Weebly website is still going on, so you can take advantage of it. You just find out whether that journal is predatory or not, where you wants to publish. Okay, again, there is one more website that is called as predatoryjournals.com. So there you can find out whether the journal is good or not. Okay, so now let's see the next point. Okay, yes, next point that I am going to discuss is think, check, and submit. Okay, this is going to help researchers identify the trusted journals and publishers for their research. Okay, so what happens? Sometimes we are not having access to the Ulrich publishers. Okay, Ulrich directory or something like that. So, but still there are online helps available which you can take. You can take the benefit of it. So one of the website which I really like is Think, Check, and Submit. Okay, it allows you to choose the right journal for your research. In the They have a three words, that is think, check, and submit. Okay, so every stage you have to cross check whether you are going according to this particular website or not. Okay, so in case of think, what are they saying? That are you submitting your research to a trusted journal? Is it right journal for your work? Right, so you have to have the questions in your mind before you start your writing your article and submitting your article, right? So I think that I will suggest you that you just don't write the articles and find out the journal. Before writing the article, you find out the journals and then decide where you want to submit. Okay, so when you are submitting your research to a trusted journal, there are few questions or few things that you should think. Okay, that should come in your mind. That because there are new journals are launched every week. Okay, so why we have to think before we trust a journal? Because there are hundreds of journals or thousands of journals are increasing and increasing. And I said the predatory publisher, that is questionable publishers list, is just going down, going up and up and up. Okay, they are just increasing in number, and there is a lot of research is going on worldwide. Okay, and every research has to be published, okay, to reach to this other researchers which are there in the other part of the world. Okay, and also there are so many malpractices are going on, right? So you are so you should not be their catch. Okay, so that there are plenty of stories are being written, and you can read about them on various websites, that how the publishers are charging the author fees or submission fees and taking money, and how the journals are lower or a poor quality. Okay, so it becomes sometimes very challenging that how to identify the journal, right? Then definitely there are guidelines which can help you to find out which journal is good for you. Okay, so how can you be sure the journal you are considering is a right journal for your research? Okay, so before you just submit your article, you have to think about all these scenarios. Okay, so next point is check. Okay, so check. So when you click on when you if you go through this particular website, they have given this guidelines or a checklist, you can say. Their website doesn't have a lot of information, but they have a checklist. Okay, so this checklist helps you, allows you to identify whether this particular journal is good for you or not. Okay, so what are the points that you have to consider? That do you or your colleagues know the journal, right? Miss, have you heard about this journal from anywhere? Like, for example, from your PhD guide or your colleagues or your friends, those who are in the same field, right? Are they knowing about this particular journal? Okay. Have you previously read any articles in the journal before? Have you ever come across, like I just now I gave you the example, International Journal of Mathematics and allied medicine or something like that. You know, have you heard about this journal? Have you gone through this journal? Have you read the articles about this journal or not? Are you able to get the contact number of the publishers on the website? Because कुछ तो उनका information होना चाहिए ना, contact में सिर्फ email देने से कुछ नहीं होगा, आपका एड्रेस भी होना चाहिए, उनका जो हेड ऑफिस कहाँ पे है, वो हेड ऑफिस का एड्रेस, उसका फोन नंबर, टोल फ्री नंबर, वॉट एवर नंबर, देयर हैज टू बी देयर समथिंग, राइट? ओके, या कुछ तो सबमिशन फॉर्म रहता है, ओके, कांटेक्ट के यहाँ पे कि आपको कोई क्वेरी है क्या जर्नल्स के बारे में, तो वो कुछ है क्या, वैसा तो कुछ तो आपको मिल रहा है क्या उनके वेबसाइट पे? ओके, देन पब्लिशर्स का नाम बराबर से लिखा है क्या? ओके, हु इज द, व्हाट इज द नेम ऑफ द publisher, then email id is given or not. Okay, or is there any designation given about that particular editor? Is the journal clear about the type of peer review it uses, right? वहां पे इसका इंफॉर्मेशन कुछ दिया गया है क्या, वो आपको ये सब देखना है. आर्टिकल इंडेक्स हुआ है या नहीं, कौन से इंडेक्सिंग वेबसाइट्स में वो इंडेक्स हुआ है, उनका पूरा लिस्ट. ओके, अगर आप कौन से भी अच्छे जर्नल की तरफ आप जाओगे और उनके वेबसाइट आप ओपन करके देखोगे, तो वहां पे क्लियरली मेंशन किया होता है व्हाट आर द ऑथर गाइडलाइंस, सबमिशन गाइडलाइंस. ओके, और हाउ द मैन्युस्क्रिप्ट हैज टू बी प्रिपेयर्ड, which citation style you have to use for your journal, right? Then वहां पे एक अच्छा सा उन्होंने आर्टिकल भी दिया होता है कि अगर आपको कोई आर्टिकल लिखना है तो ये तरीके से आप लिख सकते हो, आपका एब्स्ट्रैक्ट ऐसा होना चाहिए. ओके, एब्स्ट्रैक्ट स्ट्रक्चर्ड एब्स्ट्रैक्ट है या पैराग्राफ स्टाइल है, कितने वर्ड्स होने चाहिए आपके एब्स्ट्रैक्ट में, तो ये सब इंफॉर्मेशन वो वेबसाइट पे होना जरूरी है. ओके, अगर वो ओपन एक्सेस जर्नल है तो उनकी क्या फीस है, ओके, फीस कैसे भरनी है, ओके, चेक पेमेंट या इंटरनेशनल बैंक ट्रांसफर, समथिंग लाइक दैट, हाउ यू विल रिसीव द रिसीट ऑफ दिस पर्टिकुलर पेमेंट ऑफ फीस, और व्हाट मोड, कब आपको ये फीस भरनी है, एक्सेप्ट करने के बाद या उसके पहले. ओके, ये सब गाइडलाइंस अच्छे से एक अच्छे ओए जर्नल में लिखे गए होते हैं. तो आपको वो आइडेंटिफाई करना है कि वो बराबर से है या नहीं है. ओके, किसके लिए फीस चार्ज की जाती है और कब की जाती है, वो अच्छे से लिखा होना जरूरी है. देन हु इज द एडिटोरियल बोर्ड, हु आर द मेंबर्स ऑफ द एडिटोरियल बोर्ड, व्हाट आर देयर डेजिग्नेशंस, राइट? उनका भी ईमेल आईडी है क्या वहां पे दिया गया. ओके, तो ये सब चीजें आपको देखनी है और फिर आपको डिसाइड करना है कि आपको सबमिट करना है या नहीं करना है. ओके, आपको आंसर्स मिल गए, आप जब चेकिंग कर रहे हो तो आपको उसके आंसर्स मिल गए, तो आंसर्स करने के बाद, आंसर मिलने के बाद आपको क्या करना है, सबमिट करना है, राइट? So complete the checklist and submit your article only if you are happy you can answer yes to most of the all questions, right? So you need to be confident, Okay, if you have chosen any journal which is suitable for your particular article, right? and and your peers or your friends know about the journal as well as about the reputation of the journals, right? And you can just think about, if you write your article in this particular journal, is there any chances of gaining the citations for your article or not? That also you have to think about it. Okay, then publishing in the right journal for your research will raise your professional profile and help you progress in your career. Yes, absolutely correct. Okay, so it will definitely help to update or upgrade your profile, and it you will help you in your career also. And your paper should be in the journal. That journal should be discoverable, right? Discoverable in the sense, if they are indexed, okay, in the various search engines as well as indexing services, then chances of discovery of your article is increased. Okay, otherwise if that journal is not indexed anywhere, even it is not indexed in the Google, it has to be indexed by default by the Google, but still the structure of their journal, it should be in such a way that it should get indexed by the various search engines. Okay, um, you should expect a professional publishing experience where your work is reviewed and edited. Okay, it's a it's a fantastic journey also to write an article, submit to the journal, and publish in the established journal. Okay, that's quite a fulfilling experience, I can say, because that really teaches you lessons, or you just gain from the experience of writing and getting peer reviewed and publishing your article. So that is also very good experience, that helps you to write a good article next time. Okay, so every time you just learn and you just can write a very well. So in this particular only situation, you should submit your article. Okay, otherwise you should not be submitting your article. So before you write any article, you just think about which are the good journals, bad journals, predatory journals, questionable journals. You should able to understand. You should able to differentiate between the bad journal and the good journal. And when you decide a particular journal, if you want to publish, then you have to have the checklist in front of you. You have to just go and tick mark those points if it is there or not, and then you should go ahead with the submission. Okay, so this Think, Check, and Submit is also having one more website that is called as Think, Check, and Attend. This is in case of conferences. Okay, so as part of your our academic, or you can say for our career, it is also important to attend the conferences, maybe national conferences as well as international conferences. You can choose your conference again according to the criteria given by this Think, Check, and Attend. Okay, so I will recommend you to go to their website and read about Think, Check, and Attend. Okay, so it will help you to understand how again there are the fake conference organizers also, and how you can avoid those organizers. Okay, so is it a right conference to attend and present your research? Okay, then what provides guidance on trusting a conference to attend and present your research? How much fees they charge? In what way they charge? What is the subject area they are covering for their conference? Okay, where is their venue? Okay, see all those checklists they have provided, you please go through it and you just get benefit of it. Now I just want to talk you about Creative Commons licenses. Okay, so we all are aware that copyright sign right here, there is a one picture in front of you, that is about copyright, and then Creative Commons, and then public domain. Okay, so copyright जब हम जो कमर्शियल पब्लिशर्स के बारे में या बुक्स के बारे में, यानी हमने जो कॉलेज से या स्कूल से देखते आए हैं, तो यही साइन हमने देखा है, ये फर्स्ट वाला साइन। ओके, कॉपीराइट, ऑल राइट्स रिजर्व, यही हमने साइन देखा है। लेकिन अब ये एटलीस्ट 10 साल से तो मैं बहुत ही ये जो सीसी जो सेकंड मिडिल वाला साइन है वो देख रही हूँ, अलग अलग आर्टिकल्स में, प्रेजेंटेशंस में, बुक्स में भी। ओके, यानी ये जो अवेयरनेस है कॉपीराइट का बारे में among the authors are increasing. Okay, and that awareness is helping them to choose the license, what license they want for their particular article or for the book. Okay, so earlier I mentioned that we used to give all rights to the publishers, but now we are not doing that. All or many most of the authors are now knowledgeable. Okay, they are aware about the other kind of licenses that is called as Creative Commons license. Okay, so you must know about Creative Commons license so that it will help you in your journey of writing articles in the journals as well as books. Okay, so you can retain copyright with you and you can opt for this Creative Commons license. So what is Creative Commons license? It is a suite of licenses that set out the rights of authors and users, providing alternatives to the standard copyright. Okay, they are widely used, they are simple to state, they are machine readable, and have been created by legal experts. Okay, so this has been developed by considering the legal experts and their opinions. Okay, and even they are machine readable in the sense, if you have this sign, okay, or if you have this logo, or in the sense that particular license from the website, link from the website, when you click on that particular license, you will get all the information about the um, you can say that particular what rights that particular license has given you as a reader or as an author. Okay, so that you can, that can be read, or you can just generate even, I think, QR code also for your license, I think so. So in this way, these Creative Commons license are really good. They are really helping authors to write in a right way. Okay, there is something called as public domain. Okay, so there is a dash in the C. Okay, so what does it mean? No rights reserved. Okay, no rights reserved means what happens? See, according to the copyright laws, the author, after the death of the authors of certain years, again, it differs from the country to country. Okay, so in case of India, it's 70 years. So after the death of authors, 70 years, then work of that particular authors are in a public domain. Means there will be no copyright on the works of that particular author or a artist. So anyone can freely use the work of that particular author. So that so in this case, this particular sign is used. Okay, so that particular work is in the public domain. In case of Creative Commons also, there is something called as CC0. Again, that is called as a public domain kind of sign they have used. Even it is not attributed, still it is okay for the creator. Okay, so suppose if I wrote an article and if I say CC0, that means uh, anyone can freely use my article, and even though they don't give the attribution, means my citation, still it is fair. Okay, it is no problem for the author. So again, this kind of license is also available. So let's go and see the Creative Commons license. Almost still today, 1.6 billion work in the sense articles, books, or literary work, audio, video, whatever it is, presentations, they have been Creative Commons license has been given to them. Okay, so there are basic six models of Creative Commons license, that is called as attribution, that is CC BY, that you can see on the left side. So in this case, what happens that can someone use my work? Yes. And make money? Yes. Okay. And someone change my work? Yes. So attribution license means what? someone has to only cite your name, that's it. They can use for the commercial purpose, or they can make the changes in your work. Like suppose if I write an article, and suppose one sentence someone is taking, okay, they can take that sentence as it is, okay, or they can make the changes. Or suppose if my article is there, someone can use it in their book, and they can sell something like this. Okay, so attribution is a very basic license where you have to just give the citation of the author. Okay, next license is share like license. Okay, means what? Suppose if I use the share like license, then the same type of license has to be used by the person who is taking my article. Okay, but it can be used for the commercial purpose, as well as it can be changed. The work can be changed any way the user wants. Okay, but the license which I have used, same license that person has to be used. Okay, then attribution non-commercial. Attribution yani you have to cite that person's name, but it cannot be used for the non-commercial. A commercial purpose it cannot be used. Like you cannot include in your book which you want to sell. Okay, so it's non-commercial license. Okay, but it can be changed. Suppose you want to make the changes, you can change, and you can use in your work. Okay, but you cannot sell it. Okay, then there is one license that is called as non-commercial no derivative. No derivative yani you cannot make the changes what I have written in my article. Okay, you have to use as it is. So that is called as no derivative, as well as no commercial yani you cannot do anything. You have to just simply use my article, and then as it is. Okay, you cannot modify, even you cannot use for the commercial purpose. Okay, then there is something called as attribution non-commercial share like yani you can you have to use the share like same license which I'm using, but you cannot use it for the commercial purpose. Okay, so these are the basic models of the Creative Commons license. So I have given you the brief idea about a license. So whenever you write any article, you have to choose this license. You go to the Creative Commons license. They have very nicely designed their website. On their one web page, they have given which kind of conditions you want to put before you generate your license. So you have to tick mark that, and then the license will be generated, and that logo will be generated, or that hyperlink you can give to your article. Okay, or you can just state the license name in your work also. So most open to least open. From the open access point of view, that CC0, I just mentioned about it, BY and attribution, BY share like. These licenses are more open, but the other licenses are less open, right? Because they are not allowing you to commercially use or change, modify your work. So there are restrictions, so they are least open. So now I'm going to give you few tips about choosing the right journal, right? So when you want to choose the right journal, the potential or a target audience for your publication, who will read and cite your article, means you have to think about who is going to use, who is going to be your audience. Okay, so suppose you are writing your article, say for example in my case library science. Okay, so I'm writing an article which is beneficial to the say for example teachers, LS teachers. So I'm going to use such a journal which will be read mostly by the LS teachers. Okay, so maybe any journal, but that you have to identify. Okay, what area you are covering, who are the most readers of that particular journal, something like that you have to think about. Then you have to think about who is the audience, whether it is a national or a international. Okay, why it is said like that? Because there are so many concepts, they are very much to the local. Okay, it may not have a international identity. Okay, for example, say Indian manuscripts, or a local language, or there is a evolution of that particular local language or something like that. So the audience will be very restricted for this particular article. Okay, so it will be regional article, not even the national article. Okay, so who is your audience, who is going to read, what kind of article you have written? So accordingly, again, you have to think about audience. So again, then you have to think about journal, which journal you have to go. Say for example, if it is a regional, then you can go for the national or the regional journals which are very famous, which are used by that particular region. Okay, or the authors or the read or researchers in that particular field. Okay, so the journals that you read or a site for your research and their relevance to your proposed publications. Okay, or whatever journals that you read. Okay, even you cite. Uh, uh, so like this, you have to think about. So what is their relevance to your proposed publications? Okay, so what you have written and how it is going to be benefited. Okay, so that you have to think about. Then again, you have to think about frequency of the journal. Okay, whether it is annually, semi-annually. Okay, whether it is quarterly, monthly, or fortnightly, yani twice in a month or a weekly. So that also you have to check. So accordingly, how many then articles are published? Imagine if it is a weekly, suppose one weekly issue has got 5 articles. So in 32 weeks, there will be how many? So more than 150 articles will be published by that particular journal. So you have to think about that. What is the frequency and what are the likely chances? Okay. Then what are the author guidelines are given on the website that you have to check thoroughly, because you have to have your article in that way. Otherwise, it will not get accepted. Okay. So suppose that article has mentioned, their guidelines have mentioned that you have to write an article up to 5,000 words. So you have to write an article up to 5,000 words. You cannot go beyond that. Maybe a little bit more and there. Like अगर आप 5,000 वर्ड्स बोले हैं तो आप 5,200 या 500 तक आप जा सकते हो, लेकिन उसके ऊपर नहीं जा सकते हैं. अगर गाइडलाइंस पे लिखा है कि आपके जर्नल, आपके आर्टिकल में 8 से 10 ही टेबल्स होने चाहिए या 4-5 होने चाहिए. ओके, तो वैसे ही आपको लिखना पड़ेगा, नहीं तो वो आर्टिकल एक्सेप्ट नहीं होगा. देन इम्पैक्ट फैक्टर क्या है वो जर्नल का, कम है ज्यादा है, वो आपको देखना है. ओके, देन वो ओपन एक्सेस पब्लिशिंग ऑप्शंस है या नहीं है. ओके, वो ओए मोड पे है या नहीं है. यानी अगर वो ओपन एक्सेस जर्नल है तो ऑथर फीस कितनी है, आर्टिकल प्रोसेसिंग चार्जेस कितने हैं, तो वो देखने हैं. ओके, तो ये सब पॉलिसीज वो जर्नल, जो जर्नल्स होती है उनकी देखनी है आपको. यू हैव टू टॉक टू योर सुपरवाइजर, राइट, गाइड, योर फ्रेंड्स, योर मेंटर्स, योर सीनियर्स about the research journal. Okay, about that journal, or even network. you know uh, means you must know whether this is a right journal for you or not, because your superiors or your supervisors or your guide is going to help you, select the right journal for you. Okay, again, they know that what kind of research you are going to do, so they can recommend you that use this particular journal. Okay, so please remember while submitting your article that you cannot submit your article to more than one journal at a time. Okay, it's very, very, very important, very crucial that you cannot submit more than one journal. Okay, one article in more than one journal. So you have to think about it. Okay, that it is strictly, so when you submit your article, it asks you, especially ask you that have you submitted similar article in any other journal. You have to tick mark yes or no. Okay, so when you say no, then you are allowed, otherwise you are not allowed, and it is very, very bad practice in case of publishing. Okay, एंड सपोज इफ यू आर बिगिनर, यानी आप नए हो पब्लिशिंग में, ओके, सपोज आपने पब्लिशिंग का आपकी जर्नी अभी स्टार्ट की है, तो आपको ज्यादा भी टॉप मोस्ट जर्नल में आप नहीं जा सकते हो, क्योंकि उनका लैंग्वेज, उनके आर्टिकल्स बहुत ही पॉलिश रहते हैं, बहुत ही अच्छे रहते हैं। तो एज अ बिगिनर आपको शायद नहीं हो सकेगा कि आप वो उस तरीके का आप आर्टिकल लिखना आपको नहीं आ सकेगा। आप स्लोली आपको आएगा, तो आप एकदम टॉप मोस्ट जर्नल की तरफ आप मत जाओ। आप थोड़ा उससे थोड़ा कम क्वालिटी वाले, यानी जिसमें आप लिख सकोगे और वो आर्टिकल एक्सेप्ट हो सकेगा, और अच्छा जर्नल, ऐसा भी नहीं कि वो टॉप टू यानी कैसा भी, यानी क्वेश्चनेबल जर्नल, ऐसा नहीं। अच्छा ही जर्नल, लेकिन एकदम हाई क्वालिटी के जर्नल में भी आपको पॉसिबल नहीं होगा अगर आप बिगिनर हो तो वो भी आपको ध्यान में रखना है। ओके, और आपको एक तीसरी चीज ध्यान में रखनी है कि यानी आप रेफरेड जर्नल में ही आपको प्रेफरेंस करना है जर्नल आर्टिकल सबमिशन के लिए। ओके, कौन से भी जर्नल में नहीं, सिर्फ रेफरेड जर्नल्स आपको देखने हैं कि आप हो सके तो आप उसी जर्नल में आप आर्टिकल पब्लिश करो। ओके, सो रिजेक्शंस, then please don't get demotivated because your article got rejected, right? This happens with the beginners. ये beginners जो start करते हैं लिखने के लिए, इनके उनके बारे में ये बहुत होता है। ओके, बिगिनिंग में आपको रिजेक्शन मिलेंगे ही मिलेंगे, क्योंकि हमें पता नहीं होता है कि वो आर्टिकल कैसा लिखना है, क्या एक्सपेक्टेशंस होता है पीयर रिव्यूअर का। पीयर रिव्यूअर जो बोलता है वो आपको समझ में आ रहा है क्या? उन्होंने बोला है कि हाँ आप ऐसे लिखो, लेकिन वो आपको समझ में आ रहा है क्या? उन्होंने जो बोला है कि उन्होंने लिखा है कि डिस्कशन करो, एक्सटेंड करो डिस्कशन, इसका मतलब क्या? आपको वो समझ में नहीं आ रहा है। तो ऐसे हो सकता है आपके आर्टिकल रिजेक्ट हो सकते हैं। तो अगर रिजेक्ट हो रहा है तो आपको जानना है कि वो रिजेक्ट क्यों हो रहा है। ओके, तो इट्स अ वेरी गुड गाइडलाइन हैज बीन गिवन इन दिस गुड एकेडमिक रिसर्च, जो गाइडलाइन है, ओके, गाइडेंस डॉक्यूमेंट है, उसमें अच्छे से लिखा है कि रिजेक्शंस क्यों हो सकते हैं, कि मैन्युस्क्रिप्ट कंटेंट डज नॉट कंफर्म to the scope of the journal or the overarching theme of the special issue or is not interesting to the target audience. Okay, so ये बहुत ही कॉमन है कि हम आर्टिकल जो लिखते हैं हमें लगता है कि ये स्कोप, ये जर्नल के स्कोप में है, लेकिन वो एक्चुअली नहीं होता है। ओके, क्योंकि आपने बराबर से वो पढ़ा नहीं होता है, आपको वो स्कोप पढ़ना है कि स्कोप में लिखा होता है। ओके, अगर आप आर्टिकल ये टॉपिक पे लिख रहे हो, यानी आप लाइब्रेरी साइंस टेक्नोलॉजी, ओके, आरएफआईडी टेक्नोलॉजी या लाइब्रेरी ऑटोमेशन, ये स्कोप में वो लिखा होता है कि ये टॉपिक्स वो दिए जाते हैं कि इसके ऊपर या इससे रिलेटेड अगर टेक्नोलॉजी से रिलेटेड आपका आर्टिकल है तो आप सबमिट करो, नहीं तो मत करो। लेकिन क्या होता है कि बिगिनिंग में क्या होता है कि या यानी ऐसे एक्सपीरियंस्ड राइटर्स ऑथर्स के साथ भी होता है कि बराबर से हमें समझ में नहीं आता कि उनका स्कोप क्या है। तो आपको वो स्कोप देखना और स्कोप मैच करना जरूरी है। ओके, तो अगर आपको समझ में नहीं आता है उनके इश्यूज, उनके आर्टिकल्स भी, आप टाइटल्स भी देख सकते हो कि हाँ ओके, दिस टाइप ऑफ आर्टिकल्स हैव बीन रिटन इन दिस पर्टिकुलर जर्नल। ओके, तो आपको स्कोप देखना है। स्कोप के बाद आपको मैन्युस्क्रिप्ट राइटिंग का स्टाइल क्या है, राइट, जर्नल का स्टाइल क्या है, और आपने लिखा कैसा स्टाइल है। सपोज उन्होंने लिखा है कि आपको कंक्लूजन और डिस्कशन देना है और आपने सिर्फ कंक्लूजन लिखा है, तो वो उनके हिसाब से नहीं है। ओके, उन्होंने बोला है कि अमेरिकन साइकोलॉजिकल एपीए स्टाइल ऑफ मैनुअल, ओके, यानी जो साइटेशन स्टाइल जो लिखना है वो ये इस तरीके से लिखा है और आपने नहीं लिखा है, तो वो रिजेक्ट हो सकता है। ओके, डुप्लीकेशन, ओके, यानी प्लेजरिज्म लिखा गया है कि आपने बराबर से साइट नहीं किया है, किसी का कॉपी पेस्ट करके लिखा गया है, तो ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए। ओके, आप अगर किसी आर्टिकल को रेफर कर रहे हैं तो उसको बराबर से आपको साइट करना है और आपको दिखाना है कि यहाँ से ये रेफरेंस है। जैसे मैंने यहाँ पे सोर्स में लिखा है कि ये जो मैंने रिजेक्शंस डोंट गेट डिमोटिवेटेड, ये जो गाइडेंस डॉक्यूमेंट है वहां से मैंने ये लिखा है। ओके, तो ऐसे सोर्स आपको आइडेंटिफाई करना है, रेफर भी करना है बराबर से, अच्छे से। ओके, और आपके रिजल्ट्स अच्छे नहीं है, आपके शायद जो फाइंडिंग्स है वो भी शायद उनको नहीं अच्छा लगा कि इट्स वेरी कॉमन, what you have written in your article is very common, that may not be something very significant discovery you have done, so it may get rejected. Okay, then next, the rejections ऐसे भी होता है कि improper rationale of the study. Okay, that means what, we think that this particular topic is proper and it is going to be useful in this particular context, and may be suitable to the particular journal, so it may not be, sometimes it may not be accepted. Okay, so we may think that it may be accepted, or it may go along with the journal, so it may not happen that it it is going to be according to the journal standards. Okay, so this can be the reason for the rejection. We sometimes we do not handle our article properly, or the subject, the depthness is not there. Okay, हम ऐसे, for example, review of literature, हम रिव्यू ऑफ लिटरेचर अच्छे से कर नहीं पाते कभी कभी. ओके, not as per the expectations of the reviewer, so that also gives a problem. Okay, I mean, I'm just giving you the example that maybe we cannot give the recent references in that particular context, or maybe some important references are missing, so something also happens, then there are rejections, right? देन पुअरली डिजाइन स्टडी, लाइक आपका सैम्पलिंग बराबर नहीं है, आपका इंस्ट्रूमेंट बराबर नहीं है, तो आपने कोई हाइपोथेसिस नहीं रखा है, या कोई स्टैटिस्टिकल टेस्ट आपने यूज नहीं किए हैं, तो ये भी एक रीजन हो सकता है कि रिजेक्शन हो सकता है. ओके, देन रिजल्ट्स बराबर नहीं है, आपके प्रिलिमिनरी रिजल्ट्स है तो वो बराबर नहीं अच्छे से दिए गए हैं, जिसका कुछ इम्पोर्टेंस वगैरह नहीं है, क्लैरिटी नहीं है लिखने में, तो ये भी प्रॉब्लम्स हो सकते हैं और वो रिजेक्ट हो सकता है. Okay, so don't get demotivated, you just keep on writing, and that will make you perfect. Okay, there are some journals also, journal selection tools which are there in front of you, that is Wiley Journal Finders, Elsevier Journal Finder, Scopus Compare Sources, Manuscript Matcher. These are the websites that will help you to identify which is the right journal for you to select. Okay, so you can go through these particular websites. They are mostly given by these commercial publishers that help you to identify their journal. Okay, basically it is for their only journal, but still you can find out going to their websites that which journal is good for you. So these are the one, Jane, even the directory of open access journals or Web of Science you can find out. Okay, and you can narrow down your list of journals where you wish to publish. Now, something about UGC Consortium for Academic and Research Ethics, which I think launched in 2018 only. Okay, so why this consortium was established, and UGC took the initiative to launch this consortium, right? That CARE website has been launched. Okay, so why it has been done? It has been done just to promote the quality research, academic integrity, and publication ethics in Indian universities. Okay, it is a guideline document for us, or a website for us, which will help us to again narrow down which journal are good, which journals are to be avoided. Okay, so because the predatory journals or substandard journals started flourishing maybe after 2010 8 onwards, so and the mandatory publishing of the journal articles by the Indian researchers become mandatory. So again, it was observed that many researchers are publishing in this predatory journals. So to avoid this and to give a very good guideline, this particular initiative was started, and they have a very good approach, or they have methodology for identification. Means they have one protocol, not or you can say a checklist that they have created. Okay, so that checklist they have developed, and according to that checklist they qualify journals. Okay, so that means what, according to that checklist that particular journal is there or not. So if it is not there, then it will be discarded from the UGC care list. Okay, or it will not be included in the care list only. Okay, so you can go through the website, and they have a two groups, group 1 and a group 2. Group 1 is journals that are found qualified through UGC care protocol, means they, according to their checklist, and group 2, that is indexed in the globally recognized databases. Okay, so the Web of Science or a Scopus, they have taken directly the list from that Web of Science and the Scopus. So the if the journal, if you want to write an article which is there in the Web of Science, included in the Web of Science, then definitely you can go for that journal. You can write an article for that particular journal. So if not, then you have to see the group 1. Okay, those which are, again, they have qualified according to their checklist. Okay, so this particular UGC care list is updated quarterly on the first of every January, April, July, and October. Okay, so this is their website. You have to sign up, then you have to sign up, and then you will able to see the details of this particular website. So again, they have listed group 1 and group 2, so accordingly you can see. So here in the group 1, I was trying to find out the journals. So when I sign up, I could able to see those many journals, like Sciences 305, then Social Sciences 267, Arts and Humanities 319, Multidisciplinary 38, and Indian Languages they have 220. Okay, so when I clicked on one particular journal, that is called as Language Arts Journal of Michigan. So it is giving you the information like this is available in an English language, who is the publisher, what is the ISSN number, then what is the subject area, what is the focus of their subject, etc., etc. Then again, I told you about when we were discussing about a predatory or a questionable journal. That time I had mentioned that sometime the title of the journal is mismatch. Okay, it takes the name of the journal which is already been established, and they add something with it, some words they add to or attach to that title, and they make it that as if it is like original journal. Okay, so they have given the on the care list, care homepage, they have given the list of the clone journals. I think there are 30 journals that they have identified, and they have mentioned on their website. So see here, you can see the title Abru, and the Fels or a clone journal is titled as Abru and the Journal World. Okay, so again, this is a fake journal. So here in this case of Akshar Gatha, here the clone journal, which is a fake journal, is called as Akshar Gatha UGC approved journal. Okay, so the original title is not having UGC approved journal words in their title. So it's a fake journal. So like this, this kind of help is also provided by the care. Again, they have come out with a very good guidance document. I think it just hardly published, came into the existence last month only. That is called as Good Academic Research Practices, which gives you the very good guidelines, and it is just a 50 pages document. Again, it is published by the Secretary, University Grant Commission, and a very beautifully given a good checklist for at every stage of researchers journey. What are the points that you must consider? Those in form of checklist are given. Okay, and here is the content page, and the checklists are on the left side, on the right side. You must go through this checklist, and you just read this document, and it will help you to find out the good journals and how to write the journals, how even the data collection, what are the checklists or the points you have to consider, or how literature review you have to do, what are the points that you have to consider, etc., etc. So please go through this so that you will have more idea about how to choose the right journal and publish in the care listed journals. So these are the steps that I will recommend you to follow in your journey, that you have to find out the you have to search OA search engines as well as OA databases, selection of topic, and then write an article for OA journal. I will definitely recommend you to do this. And then you can self archive your articles in your repositories as well as websites. Suppose you are not able to write your article in the OA journal, if you are writing to the other type of journal, then definitely go for the self archive. Before that, you check the Sherpa Romeo website, find out the publisher's policies, and act accordingly. Okay, and promote open access and open access publishing. So the impact of open access is tremendous, right? So in my previous presentation, we had seen that how it is institutions are going to get benefited, authors are going to get benefited, as well as readers. So I believe that because after going through this presentation, these two presentations, I'm very sure that you have realized the importance of open access publishing, as well as importance of identifying a good academic reputable journal where you can publish. Even you have realized, you have understood the open access journals, and choosing the right journals. And please don't get demotivated if your article get rejected in the first hand. Okay, keep at writing, keep on doing research, and I'm very sure that you will be a good researchers. Thank you very much. My sincere thanks to Karnataka State Akkamma Devi Women's University for giving me the opportunity to give the presentation on open access publishing and the author's rights, and choosing the right journal for the researchers. Thank you.